Hello everyone. Last video we discussed about the introduction of highway engineering. In this video we will discuss the chapter 1, that is overview to highway engineering, and the weightage of this chapter is 4 marks. So let's start the video. First we will see the content of this chapter. In this chapter, we study the scope and importance of roads in India and its characteristics. Then, the different modes of transportation. Then, the general classification of roads. Then, the road classification in India as per Nagpur Plan, Third Road Development Plan. Then, the development of urban roads, and then the road alignment. See, highway engineering. So, what is highway engineering? It is the branch of transportation engineering which deals with the planning, design, construction, maintenance, and study of science and technology of different types of roads. Highway engineering is also called as road engineering. Means it deals with the planning, design, construction, and also the maintenance of roads. Now we will discuss the scope and importance of highway engineering. As we all know that the population is increasing day by day, so the transportation is very much important and necessary. The transportation is directly or indirectly related with the development of country or human beings. According to development, each and every facility is available in particular area, and the facility can be provided if the transportation is well and clean. So, the first point is easy and quick transportation of men, machines, animals, materials and goods can be made. Means if transportation is good and well, then it is easy and quick transportation of anything. Then the second point is areas which are connected by proper means of transport can be developed fast. Means if the areas are having proper means of transportation, then that particular city or town can be developed very fastly. Then third point is remote areas and rural areas become accessible and communicable if connected by proper means of transport. And then the next point is during emergency days, that is wars, efficient and developed transportation system plays a vital role for quick and easy transportation of soldiers and foods. Means it plays very important role at the time of wars. Also, by the proper transportation, we can easily and quickly transport the soldiers as well as foods. And the last point is transportation through airways plays an important role at the time of floods. Also, at the time of floods, it plays a very important role. Transportation contributes to the economics, industrial, social and cultural development of any country. So, all these are the importance of transportation. So, our next point is modes of transportation system. There are 4 modes of transportation. First is road transportation, second is railway transportation, then third is airway transportation, and last one is waterway transportation. Apart from these major modes of transportation, other modes includes pipelines, belt conveyors, cables, cars and ropeways. Means the modes of transportation is from which way we transport from one place to another place. That mode or way is called as modes of transportation. The means of transportation are by land, water and air. The transport by land is feasible through roadways or railways, and both of these are easy and economical. The other means are by waterways and airways are very costly. So these are the various modes of transportation, that is road transportation, railway transportation, airway transportation and waterway transportation. Now we will see the roadways or road transport. What is roadways or road transport? Road transportation is the most suitable type for short distance passenger and goods transport. This is suitable in hilly terrain where other transport modes cannot reach. Means it is suitable for all type of passengers. It is more suitable in hilly terrain area where other modes cannot reach. Also, it provides door-to-door service. Now, we will see the merits or advantages of roadways. The first merit is a number of smaller units like scooter, rickshaws, cars, etc. are available for personalized transport. Means it is suitable or better convenient for personalized transport. Then the second point is they transport men and materials from one part to other speedily and easily. Means from the well and good roads we can transport men and materials from one part to another part very speedily and easily. Then the next point is it is ideal for non-bulk cargo, especially passenger. Then the next point is it is economical from common man's point of view. Means for common man it is very economical and easiest way. Then the next point is it provides door-to-door service. It also provides the door-to-door service. In this transportation or in this mode of transportation, the starting and destination point needs not to be necessarily defined. Means passenger can stop or stay at any point. And the last point is in hilly or mountainous regions, roads are the only means of conveyance. Roads are very convenient in hilly or mountainous area. So these are the merits of roadways. Now we will see the demerits of roadways. The first point is suitable for short distance only. Means it is not suitable for long distance. It is suitable only for short distance. The tractive resistance of wheels to the road is more, therefore more power is required. Means more use of roadways, its tractive resistance of wheels to the road is more and therefore it requires more power. Then the next point is rates of accidents are very high. The ratio of accidents are very high as compared to other modes. And the last point is because of the bulk and presence of the other traffic, there is restriction on speed. Due to traffic volume, there is a restriction on the speed. So these are the demerits of roadways. This picture shows the roadways. Okay. Now the second mode of transportation is railways or rail transportation. The best alternative for land transportation of bulk goods over long distance by vehicles is the railway. railways provide fairly comfortable and safe journey within the reach of the common man. Nowadays, railways or rail transport is the lifeline of the nation and also more essential for mass transportation of men as well as goods for long distance. Also, railways provide fairly comfortable and safe journey within the reach of the common man. Now we will see the merits of railways. First point is it provides economic means of transportation for common people. The railways is economic as compared to other modes of transportation. Then the second point is traveling in railway is safe and comfortable. The journey from the railway is safe as well as comfortable. Then the next point is goods and raw materials can be transported for long distance only by railway. Means the raw materials as well as heavy goods can be transported by railways over long distance which cannot be possible by roadways. Then next point is it requires less power to drive. And the last point is it gives the employment to the maximum people. So these are the merits of railways. Now we will see the demerits of railways. The first point is destination point and starting points are fixed and cannot be altered. This is the main disadvantage of railways, that we cannot alter the destination and starting point. Then the second point is cannot provide door-to-door service. This transportation cannot provide door-to-door service because the goods have to be loaded and unloaded at stations and this depends on road transport. Then the third point is the cost of construction is more and it requires maintenance frequently. So its construction cost is more and the maintenance cost is also more as compared to road transportation. So these are the demerits of railways. Now the third mode of transportation is airways or air transportation. The most sophisticated and advanced mode of transport is the air transport. Tourism industry has been developed to a great extent by this mode of transport. This type of mode of transportation is fastest as well as sophisticated mode of transportation as compared to other mode of transportation. It gives very fast service at a small time. We can travel the world. So this is the advanced mode of transportation. Now we will see the merits of airways. Very sophisticated and fast mode of transport. This transportation is very sophisticated and fast mode of transport. Then the second point is it plays an important role in wartime defense of the country. Means at the time of war it plays an important role. Then the third point is during emergency supplies to remote areas can be immediately made. Means it supplies materials or anything immediately to the remote areas. Then the next point is it earns national revenue in the form of tourism and passenger traffic. From the tourism and passenger traffic, government earns national revenue. Then the next point is a widespread to air transport network is a sign of development of nation. Air transport is a sign of development of nation. And the last point is this mode of transport can have access to areas where other modes cannot reach. Means by the use of this mode of transportation, we can easily travel to areas where other mode of transportation cannot reach. Then we will see the demerits of airways. It cannot be afforded by common man because system is costly. Means this system cannot afforded or suitable to the common man. The system of this transportation is very costly. Then the second point is the climatic factors like storms, fog, rainfall affect the routine of the air transport. Due to climatic factors like rainfall, fog, etc., it affects the routine of the transport. And the last point is investment in the setting up of infrastructure like airports, hangars, control towers is very high. The investment in the setting up of infrastructures like hangars, control towers, etc. are very high. So these are the demerits of airways. Now the last mode of transportation is waterways or water transportation. The branch of civil engineering which deals with planning, designing, construction and maintenance of water transport is known as waterways. All of us know about the waterways. This is the oldest mode of transportation. From the definition, it deals with all the factors which is planning as well as designing. Okay. The development of waterways has been achieved after Second World War. This is the time-consuming mode of transportation. Now we will see the merits of waterways. The first point is economic mode of transportation. Then the second point is it can carry heavy loads over long distance, suitable for bulky materials like oil, coal, timber. And the last point is it requires power is less. Means this is the economic mode of transportation. Also, the bulky materials like oil, coal, timber, etc. can carry over long distance and it requires less power as compared to other mode of transportation. Now we will see the demerits of waterways. This mode is time consuming as ships move with slow speed. And the second point is climatic factors plays an important role. Means ships moves with very slow speed, so this mode of transportation is time consuming. And the climatic factors like storms may damage the cargo or ship. This table shows the comparison between roadways and railways. So, first point of comparison is suitability. In roadways, traffic by bus, scooters, cycles and rickshaws. And in railways, the traffic by trains only. Means it is roadways is suitable by bus, scooters, cycles and rickshaws. But in railways, it is suitable only for trains. Then the second point of comparison is tractive resistance. The tractive resistance of roadways is very high, but the tractive resistance of railways is low. Then the third point of comparison is turning devices. In roadways, no special turning devices are required, but in railways, special turning devices are required. Then fourth point of comparison is rate of accidents. In roadways, rate of accident is high, but in railways the rate of accident is low. Then the next point of comparison is cost of construction and maintenance. The cost of construction and maintenance in roadways is less, but in railways the cost of construction and maintenance is high. The next point is hilly area. Roadways, hilly areas. The roadways are more suitable in hilly areas. The railways are less suitable in hilly areas. Then the next point is employment potential. In roadways, employment potential is low, but in railways, employment potential is high. And this last point is starting and destination. In roadways, points means starting and destination points are not fixed, but in railways, starting and destination points are fixed. So these are the comparison between roadways and railways. Okay, hope you like the information given in this video. Up to this, anybody have any question or problem, then please ask me, and complete all assignments which are allotted within time. Okay.